Well, good morning, everyone. I'm going to try to keep this brief because, well, I don't think the battery charged up completely. That tends to happen when the little screen on the camera is left open and it's left to just read files only rather than actually charge at the same time. I don't know why it does that. It just does. It's one of those things. One of those little mysteries that I have yet to figure out, except to say that it's a design flaw. There are plenty of other devices when they're still going charge. I don't see why this one couldn't. But it happened. So, for today, I've got Wild Unknown Tarot, I've got Sacred Rebels Oracle, and then my usual mainstays of Spirit Animal, Viking Oracle, and Runes of the Gods, of course. I kind of thought we needed a little bit of an honest and straightforward reading today. And I know I tend to pair Wild Unknown with Sacred Rebels quite a bit when that happens. It's nothing new, we've done it on this channel before. I did a reading for 2 people once, and boy, that one really took it out of me. But I do like these decks. They're a lot of fun, sometimes. I know the rune readings have been getting a little intense lately. But also, I kind of think that maybe, just maybe, there's a message that really needs to get across to someone out there. So we're going to go ahead and lay these cards out. We're going to get them knocked out, and we're going to see where it goes. Alright. I hope you're ready, because I am. And if not, now's a good time to pause and go get yourself a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and get ready to sit down with me. Let's visit a little bit, shall we? Okay, so, speaking of tea, got mine, and now, let's do this, baby. Alright, so, Yggdrasil. And this is you for today. You're a part of something much, much larger than yourself. And that kind of goes without saying. But sometimes it needs to be brought out because we tend to think of our microcosm as the macrocosm. We always tend to do that. We tend to apply our lives to someone else, thinking that our situation matches everyone else's. Not really so. Just because you're part of a branch does not mean that you know the roots. Something to consider. Also have Frithgeard. This is your refuge. Where do you go when things start getting tough? Where are you most at peace right now? I can tell you this right now, with everything going on, a lot of people are not feeling at ease. They're not feeling at peace with themselves, they're not feeling at peace with the world around them, and when you're consuming a 24/7, 365 up to the nanosecond, 300 million color, ultra high definition fear cycle, what else can you expect, realistically speaking? That doesn't mean you still can't do your part. I know you're looking around the world and you're thinking everything's coming apart. Everything's falling apart. It's all just coming apart at high speed, right? It's like watching a muscle car screaming down the road, and parts are just, they're just all flying off until there's nothing left but pieces of the engine and your seat scraping on the pavement. But that's not necessarily the case. Remember, people, I've been telling you, there's an illusion being propped up. There is a mad scramble to keep it up. And it's happening right now. More mad scramble. And here's your spirit animal. One of the things in my lower third, right across here, usually telling you to believe in your own magic. You've got to trust it. And it does have timing. And you have to be able to believe in it. You have to be able to trust in it. I mean, no one else is going to do it for you. And you have to keep doing it consistently. You also have to remember to take care of yourself in the process. That means your mental well-being too. That means sometimes you gotta shut that screen off. Not right now, of course. But the one thing I will promise you is I'm not here to put you into a state of fear. I'm here to put you into a state of hope. Sometimes that means being a little brutally honest with you. We're friends, right? We can be honest with each other. I'm going to tell you this: you might as well be honest with me, because I'm going to do it with you. And right now, according to this reading, just these 3 cards that I've flipped over so far, I'm seeing hope. Where the news is showing nothing but hopelessness. So, for our cards, we do have a Queen of Pentacles, or a Mother of Pentacles rather. We have the Hanged Man, and of course a Six of Pentacles. So right now you can see from this Queen of Coins, Mother of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, however you want to put it, she's sitting rather pretty. She's got her child right there. Ears are up, eyes are open. She's alert, but she's also relaxed, so that her child can be as well. She's certain of herself, and she knows if anything comes up, she's got this. Now the question is, are you feeling the same? And if you're not, what are you doing to get there? Because we move from there into the Hanged Man. Now this is where the bat is hibernating. They're asleep, they're hanging upside down, but this is where the bat is at its most peaceful. Wings wrapped around it, completely secure. And that kind of security is your responsibility. It doesn't belong to anyone else. It's important to stay alert. Let me tell you a little something about fear. Fear is a useful tool, but it is a lousy state to be in. If you're constantly in fear of what everyone else is doing, then you're not at peace with yourself. We've talked about this kind of thing before. You can't buy into this 24/7, 365, up to the nanosecond, 4K Ultra HD fear cycle and expect to live a life where you're making peace, because you're not at peace with yourself. You're constantly taking that in. What you take in is going to sit there, and it's going to spread. It's going to do things like this. It will mess you up. And when you're in that kind of a state, you can't do this. You can't bloom. You can't blossom. You can't push through the dirt. You cannot be of service to anyone else. But if you utilize that fear to put yourself into a state of alert, eyes are up, ears open, taking your settings around you, and just making sure that if you perceive a threat somewhere, you know how to handle it. If you're able to get to that place where you can ensure that your security is in place, you're secure in your ability, you're secure in your current state, you're at peace with yourself, then you can begin to spread that around. You can begin to be of service to others. And that's what's most important right now. That's your magic. And it's easy when everything's going well. Not so much when things are kind of looking like they're going to hell in a handbasket. But it's more important during those times than it is any time else. So let's see what the Sacred Rebels Oracle has to tell us. Conscious connections. Defend to the end the worthwhile. And focus on the light. You've got to be able to connect. You got to make those meaningful, conscious connections. You've got to live a little more consciously. You've got to be aware of your surroundings. You've got to be aware of every little thing you do. And that's something to practice. Not just constantly going through the motions. We can be like zombies, going through the motions all day, every day. It won't mean a thing. It won't help us at all. We start becoming conscious of the things we do. Guess what? Everything has meaning. Every action taken becomes part of something much larger. And if we're at peace with ourselves, if we become our own refuge, then we can become refuge to others as well. That brings us right here. What is worthwhile to you? What does that look like? It's important to defend it, but you have to be secure in your position to defend it. I can tell you this much right now. There are people. If you go to Clouthub and just kind of look at the past couple weeks worth of activity, you can see people losing their minds, completely flipping out, because I post this and it comes across as a threat to them. They're not secure in their position. Whereas I like to play Dungeons and Dragons. They like to play pitchforks and torches. And they still somehow believe that works. Me? I'll just throw them the same thing I'm throwing now. All the time. and it's a little disclaimer. When one of those little messages pops up, here's my disclaimer. Bang. Here's a link. Go follow it. And what is that link? It teaches you how to block those things that offend you or unnerve you or scare the whimpering shit out of you. That's all I have to offer. I'm not going to give any more. Because we all need to focus on this a little more. You know how I tell you to do those things that light you up from the inside out at every opportunity? This is what we're talking about. And you definitely need to start doing that. Because those are the things, those are your refuges. Listen, if your refuge is to crack open a book and start reading or doing research, I don't care how heavy that material is or how light it is. Whatever that is, whatever it is you do, whether it's creating something new, writing something, reading something, watching something, guiding someone else, being guided yourself, meditation, especially meditation. Meditation's great. This isn't just hippie shit I'm spewing. It actually does help. Whatever that is, I don't care if it's that quiet cup of tea in the morning, that quiet cup of coffee, just that. That's where your focus needs to be. That mental state that you're in right then and there, that mental, physical, and spiritual state, you'll know it because all of them will sync together. That's what you need to focus on. And I know it sounds very simple, and you're looking around, you're thinking, how in the hell am I going to do that? Well, that's something you're going to have to figure out. Because we're going to the runes now. So we've got Tivaz, we've got Thurisaz, and we've got Rider-Waite. Now, this is where you need to, this is why you need to step up. This is why you need to do those things, because you will be in a position of leadership. This is how, as a leader, you ensure victory for all those involved, including yourself. You can ensure the good of all around you. But you have to lead, and you have to do it by example. Can't be by decree. We're seeing how disastrous that can go. But in order to do it effectively, you have to embrace those little challenges. Now, I know this can also come up as conflict. We just came out of Tuesday. Tuesday was a nice little Pluto return aimed directly at us. You know when the last time that happened was? Well, I'll tell you what. Let me pull it up. I can give you the exact date. I know because I've seen it. And I looked into it. The last time Pluto returned for us in the U.S. was on July 4th, 1776. We've been feeling its effects for the last few years, and once it's gone, this is going to be the last we experience it in our lifetime. So this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to create change. Use Pluto's energy to be the person you've always wanted to be. I want that to sink in. And then here we have Ride-Ho. Ride-Ho typically means a journey. Sometimes it can mean a physical journey too. You may literally have to kind of go somewhere. You may have to, like, strap on your walking shoes and get to pounding the pavement for a little while. You may need to get away. But doesn't have to be physical. It can be an internal journey as well. It can be a journey of self-discovery, researching ancestry, things like that. That can happen. In this case, I'm seeing more clarity than anything. You have to get certain things clear in your mind. You want to be at peace with yourself, you want to spread that, you want to be of service to others, you are really going to have to get certain things very clear in your mind. Number one, you cannot control what others do. You can control yourself though. And that's everything from how you respond to certain situations to what you think and how you do things. I talk a lot about you watching this right now. And the fact is, I have to take this advice just as much as you do. There are certain days where these readings, certain images in my mind will pop and I'll see where this applies to my situation just as much as yours. And of course, it's like I've always said, if you doubt that you're ever as powerful as I tell you you are, go into your little group for a minute, offering a dissenting opinion, and watch how they respond. Sometimes they'll respond pretty well, other times not so much. But if ever you're told, you will never say that again, you will never think that again, you will never do that again, just do this, just say that, it's time to go. Because the reason they want to control you is because they have submitted to a system of control. They are miserable within it. And they don't want to see anyone escape it. I say it's time to escape that control, don't you? Oh, you're gonna lose what you thought were friends. That much is gonna happen. In reality, the only thing you truly lost was those trying to hold you back. Here's the thing, I don't want to see you held back. I want to see you becoming stronger. I want to see you becoming more self-reliant. Doesn't mean you have to be an island. It just means you have to take care of yourself and each other, those around you, and teach them to do the same. Right there. You notice how this plant kind of comes across like a tree. What do these two cards have in common? They both have roots. Those roots are strong. And they both bear fruit of some kind. Stop concerning yourselves with fruitless trees, fruitless plants. They're not serving you. They're not helping you. You're going to have to trust that you've got this. You're going to have to make peace with the fact that you may very well stand alone. I mean, look at the hangman here. He's not exactly worried, is he? That to me is worthwhile. But this is where we need to keep our focus right now. We cannot, for any reason, allow ourselves to be distracted to the point where we do not see it, we do not feel it, we do not embrace it. That's going to be the real journey right there. That's going to be the real challenge. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot give it to you any better. Our entire lives, our entire state of being has been centered around illusion and distraction. That is not us. With illusion and distraction comes misdirection. How does Harry Houdini, David Copperfield, Chris Angel, all these guys who practice, even David Blaine, how do they do these feats that seem like, that make us go, wow, how did he do that? I can tell you how they did it. Misdirection. If you're constantly watching this hand, you don't know what this hand's doing. If I can keep your attention focused right here, you don't know this is reaching for your wallet, your keys, your watch, your phone. All I gotta do is keep your attention focused here. I don't want your attention focused there. I want your attention focused on what gives you peace, what helps you make sense of this crazy world. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and neighbors, tribespeople all over the world, whatever it is you pick up that brings you peace, makes sense of this crazy world, and gives you a calm among the chaos, that is where I want your attention focused. Because there, you will find your power, you will find your magic, you will trust and believe in it, you will execute it to the fullest of its ability. And it's like dropping a pebble into a pond. You will watch the ripples spread far and wide. And that's what you are. That's what you have to do. You have to believe that dropping the pebble into the pond will create those ripples. Now the question is, what kind of ripples do you want to see? So for today, watch where you drop your pebbles. Because that is the only way you can direct your ripples. This is your ripple effect. Don't get distracted. I don't know how else to deliver that message with the impact it deserves. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you all. Let's do this again tomorrow. Tomorrow's that big weekend reading. I know I haven't mentioned the promotions, which are as follows. Link in the description below, heathensoullord.net. Electronic and softcover books get you 4 readings and a birthday reading. Hardcover black and white get you 5 and a birthday reading. Full color hardcover gets you readings for a year from date of purchase. Also, bring a friend, which means be a subscriber. Have a friend subscribe, name you as the reason they're there. Both of you get a free reading. Or you can throw me something off my Amazon wish list and get 2 free readings and a birthday reading. There we go. That's it. That's everything. Don't want to spend too much time on it. I really think you need to read heathensoulllord.net at the very least, though. There's plenty of good information in there. So, let's do it again tomorrow, shall we? Again, I love you all. Take care of yourselves and each other. Keep yourself focused on your light, believe in your own magic, and no matter what comes your way on the screen, if you find it puts you into a state of fear, turn it off. You want to combat terrorism? That's how you do it. Turn that damn thing off. And as always, my friends, family, neighbors, friends, and tribes people, shine on.